Welcome to Liverpool, Andoni Iraola AI. It is official, it is confirmed that Andoni Iraola has signed a 2-year contract to be with Liverpool for the next 2 seasons. So this is a welcome video, basically. It's a welcome video for Andoni Iraola, the new manager in the building, succeeding Arne Slot, who was sacked 2 seasons into his contract because the performances in his last season was absolutely atrocious. It was unforgivable, really. For me, some of the performances, like games against Manchester City at home, Man United at home, PSV at home, those were games that you would watch and immediately accept the fact that the manager had to go. So, rightly so, he's gone. A new manager is in now, and it is Andoni Iraola who has performed magnificently with Bournemouth. But my welcome video is a bit different from what you've seen maybe in other parts of the internet, from the mainstream media as well as fan content creators, because I'm not going to sit here and keep glazing Andoni Iraola and talk about how he's a manager who can improve players. He's a manager who punches above his weight. He can get more out of very little. The reason why I'm not going to do all that is because I heard the same thing about Arne Slot. The style of play, Andoni Iraola plays like Klopp. We heard the same thing about Arne Slot. And for me, I don't even understand why we keep comparing everybody to Slot. Because there was a time when we wanted Slot out. I wanted Slot out at some point in his tenure at Liverpool. Some of you guys listening to me wanted Slot out. Sorry, Klopp. A lot of Liverpool fans, or some Liverpool fans, let me say, wanted Klopp out at some point, because in spite of the expansive football, the high intensity football, one thing was missing. Winning was missing. So all we care about really is winning. So for me, I'm not interested in all that conversation about how Iraola improves players, how he's able to integrate academy players into the squad, whether he understands the Liverpool fans, the Anfield crowd, how he connects with them. All that is not necessary. The only thing that matters in football is winning. And when I say winning, I mean winning trophies. That is what Liverpool should be about. For me, that is why I support Liverpool. It's for the trophies. If I see entertaining football and it doesn't lead to anything, I'm not interested. All I'm interested in is winning games on a consistent basis and topping that off with a trophy at the end of the season. And when I say a trophy, I mean the big ones: Champions League, Premier League. So Andoni Iraola, everybody is singing your praises. People are saying you are the best man for the job. Your football, your style of play is exciting. But it has to end up in winning, and winning consistently. Otherwise, these same people who are singing your praises will ask for your head. So I'm not going to get involved in that conversation. For me, Iraola hasn't proven anything to me. He hasn't proven that he can do this Liverpool job. And that is the journey that he has to be on. He said it himself. The man said it himself. That is what I have really enjoyed hearing from his welcome interviews and the little audios here and there that I've seen. He said, I want to earn the right to be part of you. He needs to earn the right. And I think he understands that perfectly. He has to earn the right. Whatever he's done with Bournemouth, Vallecano, forget about that. This is a clean slate. You are starting from scratch. You are starting from zero. And you need to earn the right. Earning the right means that you need to convince each and everybody that you belong. This is your level. Because you've shown that for the Bournemouth level, you are above the Bournemouth level. Now you need to show that you are at the level of Liverpool. You are in the top. You are in the best of the best, and you can coach an absolutely elite team like Liverpool Football Club. So that is what we need to see. That is all we care about. Everything that everybody has to say about style of play, about high intensity football, about pressing high and all that, it is going to be tested. And I'm going to say this: Liverpool is one football club that has the ability to throw very, very difficult challenges at you that you could have never envisaged coming your way. That is Liverpool. It is a club full of emotions. It is a club where the impossible is possible, but at the same time, tragedy is part of the history of Liverpool. So you need to expect the unexpected. And when that comes, that is when you get tested. That is when we see what you are really made of. So it is going to come. There's going to be a point. I know for sure if Andoni Iraola stays here for the next 2 to 3 seasons, there is going to be a point where he's going to be tested. Conditions are not going to be right. He's going to suffer. And that is where we are going to see the kind of man that he's made of. So for me right now, the glazing and all the stuff that we are saying, he plays this kind of football, he's just like Klopp. We said the same thing about Slot. Don't forget that. You can go back and check all the videos. We said the same thing about Slot. His style of play is just like Klopp. That's what we said about Slot. We said he's able to punch above his weight. He didn't have the biggest budget in the Netherlands, and yet he ended up winning the league. So he's someone who can get more out of less. We said that about Slot. Iraola, we are saying the same thing. So for me, this is like a repetition. The only thing is that the names are different. It was Arne Slot, now it is Andoni Iraola. It is Andoni Iraola. And I also need to say this, that we talk about a style of play. We talk about high intensity football. But the same thing that we complained about when Klopp was in the building was that there were certain times, there were few occasions where Klopp could have tweaked it, could have toned it down a bit, and that might have resulted in winning a bit more trophies, maybe one more Premier League, maybe one more Champions League. So the style of play is all well and good if it is high intensity and all that, but if you are the manager of Liverpool, you need to know when and when not to go full throttle. You need to know when to bide your time, bait the opponent, and hit him where it hurts. And if Andoni Iraola comes in and he thinks that he's going to be all high intense, gegen pressing and whatever you want to call it, and that is going to work all the time, it is a lie. He's going to be in a fool's paradise basically. Liverpool is that kind of team where you are going to be faced with many different challenges. You need to know when to sit back, when to go forward, when to activate the high intensity football, when to go man v man, and all that stuff. We were here under Klopp when in the Europa League, Atlanta came to Anfield and completely obliterated Klopp. Gianpiero Gasperini schooled Klopp on that day, and it was an absolutely disappointing performance. But it was high intensity football. We're still playing the high intensity football. People are going to find you out. So what are you going to do when they find you out on your high intensity football and your high pressing? People are going to find a solution to it. And if you're a Liverpool manager, you need to adapt. And for me, that is the biggest question. What is going to be Andoni Iraola's adaptation methods? How is he going to adapt? In terms of playing every 3 days, how is he going to handle Champions League football? How is he going to juggle not having a very big squad? and playing every 3 days, managing the academy players, making sure that injuries can be managed. We can have players who would come in from the academy and still be able to keep the team ticking. Is he going to be able to manage that? How is he going to adapt to facing low blocks every single week? Because that is what you are going to face. At Bournemouth, you don't face low blocks. Teams believe that they can come at Bournemouth. They believe they can open up and play with Bournemouth. At Liverpool, it is completely different. Every single team, with the exception of maybe about 1/4 of the teams in the Premier League, everybody else is going to be in a low block. So how do you adapt? How do you create space? How do you draw people out and create artificial transitions? How do you do that? Those are the questions that I think would be the answers to those questions will be the defining characteristics of Andoni Iraola's tenure at Liverpool. And it's going to determine whether or not he's successful at Liverpool. So I think it is not going to be wise for me to sit here and do the same things that I heard people say about Arne Slot, and later on they found out that maybe they misspoke or maybe they spoke too early. So I'm going to hold my horses about Andoni Iraola. I'm not going to praise him. I'm not going to say he's a good fit. He's not a good fit until he proves it. And I'm not going to say he's a bad manager or he's not at the level, because I have no evidence to be able to say that. He needs to show me next season, the season after that. That is when he needs to show it. And hopefully we will all be here to see. We will all be here to see the results of Andoni Iraola's capabilities as a manager. And as I said, he's going to be tested massively. He's going to be absolutely tested to his limits. And that is when he would need to earn the right to be counted as a Liverpool manager. People are even saying that Slot didn't have a very good connection with the fans. He wasn't staying in the Liverpool city. But hopefully Andoni Iraola can be like maybe Rafa Benitez. Maybe Klopp is a special kind of manager, and it's unfair to compare other managers to Klopp. So why not Rafa Benitez? He can be like Rafa Benitez all he wants. He can stay within Liverpool, connect with the fans and do all that. It is not important. In the grand scheme of things, what really matters is winning. And Rafa Benitez won 1 Champions League. And I think he also won an FA Cup or something. Not good enough. Not good enough. For the amount of years that he spent at Liverpool, not good enough. Not good enough. Liverpool should be winning Premier League after Premier League, Champions League after Champions League. We can miss out in a year or two, a couple of years, not winning the Premier League or Champions League. But that should absolutely be the aim. So for me, Andoni Iraola, that is the metric I'm going to evaluate him on. Winning trophies in his first 2 seasons. The question I want to ask you before I leave here is the following. Do you think that in the next 2 seasons, Andoni Iraola would be able to win the Premier League or the Champions League? Now, if your answer is no, to this question, if it is yes, then fair enough. He's shown his worth. But if it is no, ask yourself, would that mean that he's better than Slot? Not Klopp. I'm not talking about Klopp. Slot. In his first 2 seasons, if Andoni Iraola doesn't win any of the 2 major trophies, Premier League, Champions League, would he have done better than Slot? Ask yourself that question. Thank you very much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you are new here. Comment down below as well. You never walk alone. See you.